Welcome back. Well, first it was Bernie bias, and now the New York Times under fire for its favoritism for Hillary Clinton securing the nomination compared to Donald Trump's nomination. Take note. Here's the New York Times' front story, the first paragraph today. Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton, who sacrificed personal ambition for her husband's political career and then rose to be a globally influential figure, became the first woman to accept a major party's presidential nomination on Thursday night. A prize that generations of American women have dreamed about for one of their own. This is the top first story in the New York Times today. Now let's take a look at the lead from last Friday, and that's after Cleveland. Cleveland, in his unlikely rise to the Republican nomination, Donald J. Trump attacked lobbyists, disparaged big donors, and railed against the party's establishment. But on the shores of Lake Erie this week, beyond the glare of television cameras, the power of the permanent political class seemed virtually undisturbed. We want to talk about the differences here. Now, Gerry Baker, I hate to put you on the spot. You are the editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal. What's your take?
Well, that first one, this morning's first paragraph about Hillary Clinton, you should have recited that with soaring music in the background. It was, you know, stirring violins, stirring, rising, you know, the great moment. I mean, this is a news story. Look, and again, everybody understands the difference between opinion and news, except obviously apparently our dear friends at the New York Times. This is a news story. This is the front page story of a newspaper. That is a paragraph that is essentially calling upon people to celebrate the nomination of Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton.
Right.
That, you know, how can you that is opinion and commentary, not even masquerading as news. It's just out there as opinion. And then you contrast it with what they said about Trump, with that rather bizarre stuff about taking on lobbyists and doing whatever he did on the shores of Lake Erie. You know, that and people wonder why people complain about the New York Times' bias. Well, I'm the editor of the Wall Street Journal. You know,
yeah.
I challenge you to read out what we wrote.
Just to be clear, here's the Journal. Clinton lays out her vision. First paragraph. Hillary Clinton's first order of business after the Democratic convention is a bus trip in the battlegrounds.
If you read the story on the right, is the equivalent of our New York Times story on the right.
Okay. Clinton accepted the Democratic Party's nomination for president Thursday, casting herself as a leader whose steadiness and unifying approach stand in sharp contrast with her opponent.
That's a news story.
You said it straight.
That's her. That's
you said
reporting.
It straight.
We're paraphrasing her words. We're not making any commentary. We're not saying any grand historical, putting it into any grand historical contents in an incredibly favourable way. It's, you know, but that's the way the media play it.
I think we need to correct something. The actual story on the nomination in the New York Times about Donald Trump last Friday started with the following. Donald John Trump accepted the Republican presidential nomination on Thursday night with an unusually vehement appeal to Americans who feel that their country is spiraling out of control and yearn for a leader who will take aggressive, even extreme actions to protect them.
Well, so they were both breathless. I mean, those are both breathless descriptions, I think.
Yeah, I think that the Hillary Clinton thing about she has
and by the
basically
way, sacrificed personal ambition to her husband's career. Really?
Who sacrificed personal ambition for her husband's political career.
I mean, really? I mean, she's actually, well, some could argue that she's actually where she is now in part because of what happened, how her husband behaved in office, which led to a surge of sympathy for her at the end of the 1990s and enabled her to become senator from New York. I'm not denying her talent. She's a very capable and talented person. But the idea that she has spent a lifetime sacrificing her ambitions for her husband, I think is a little rich.
Yeah.
And also, what is the word yearning? That women yearned? Was that the verb?
Women.
Yeah, generations of women have dreamed.
Of America have dreamed about for one of their own.
Okay.
I just wanted to point that out. And it's important because we talk about mainstream media. By the way, just New York Post. Hillary speaks to DNC, waives $200,000.
I have to say, as a front page, that's a headline.
Make me read it.
Yeah. Okay. We got to get to a break because we want to get